There's not that many people that can relate to everything that she's been through. There's not that many folks that know what it's like to be in her shoes.
LeBron James just stepped into the WNBA drama, and you won't believe who he's defending. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, is facing some serious heat from within the league. But King James isn't having it. He's standing up for Clark, and his words are shaking things up. You know what's crazy? Caitlin Clark is crushing it on the court, but some people in the WNBA aren't happy about it. They're throwing shade at her left and right. But guess who just showed up to back her up? None other than LeBron James himself. This is huge, folks. LeBron's not just any player.
He said, I have a great deal of respect for her because I know exactly what it means to be drafted, to be the face of a franchise, and also get the scrutiny from a lot of people that don't believe you're ready for the next jump. But someone that does is LeBron James, right? And here is what he told Esquire when he was asked about Caitlin Clark.
He's a legend, and now he's using his voice to support Clark. Can you imagine how this might change things for her, for the whole WNBA? LeBron's words carry weight, and they're about to make waves. Get ready, because this story is just getting started and you won't want to miss what happens next. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
And so, me watching Caitlin, seeing what she's doing, I've been in support of her since day one because I remember myself going through that, and she has my support 100%. She is a transcendent player.
As LeBron defends Clark, the WNBA is experiencing a revolution. Fans are flocking to games in record numbers, but it's not just about the basketball. What's really driving this unprecedented growth, and why is Caitlin Clark at the center of it all? Hey, let's talk numbers, because they're telling a story that's blowing everyone's minds. The WNBA just had a season that's rewriting the history books. We're talking about a 48% increase in fans per game. That's not a typo. 48%. Last year, they were averaging 6,615 fans. This year, a whopping 9,187. That's almost doubling the crowd. But wait, it gets even crazier. Remember how last season there were 45 sellout games? Well, hold on to your seats, because this year that number skyrocketed to 154. That's more than triple. The energy in those arenas must have been electric. Now, you might be wondering, what's causing this massive surge?
Right, when LeBron James came out in 2003, we heard, so many guys on record saying they couldn't wait for him to get to the league and he wasn't going to do this, he wasn't going to do that.
2 words, Caitlin Clark. This rookie isn't just playing the game, she's changing it. 3 of her games drew over 20,000 fans. That's NBA territory, folks. And get this, one of those games set a new record with 20,711 people showing up for a rookie. In the WNBA, that's unheard of. But it's not just about Clark's games. The entire league is feeling the impact. The Indiana Fever, Clark's team, shattered their single-season home attendance record. They pulled in 340,000 fans, beating the old record set by the Liberty way back in 2001. That's over 2 decades of history, gone in one season. You know what's even more impressive? The total attendance for WNBA games this year hit 2,353 as 735. That's the highest it's been in 22 years. Think about that. Some of the fans showing up to games weren't even born the last time the league saw numbers like this. It's clear that Caitlin Clark isn't just good for her team. She's revolutionizing the entire WNBA. She's bringing in new fans, energizing the existing ones, and showing everyone what women's basketball can be. This isn't just a good season, it's a game changer for the whole sport. Just when you thought Clark had conquered it all, a new controversy erupts. ESPN's attempt to highlight the WNBA's growth backfired big time. Who did they put in the spotlight instead of Clark, and why are fans calling foul? You won't believe what ESPN just did. They dropped a graphic celebrating the WNBA's success, but there's one big problem. Caitlin Clark is nowhere to be seen. Instead, they featured A'ja Wilson, and fans are losing their minds. Let's break this down. ESPN's graphic was supposed to showcase the league's amazing growth. They talked about how 2.3 million fans watched the WNBA this season. That's huge. But here's the kicker. They put A'ja Wilson front and center, completely ignoring the Caitlin Clark effect. Fans didn't hold back. They flooded social media with comments like, "It was the Caitlin Clark effect driving that train." Can you blame them? We just talked about those insane attendance numbers, and Clark was at the heart of it all. Think about it. Clark's games were pulling in over 20,000 fans. That's NBA territory. And remember that record-breaking game with 2,711 people? Yeah, that was all Clark. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson, as great as she is, wasn't the one causing this viewership explosion. Now, don't get me wrong, A'ja Wilson is an incredible player, but in this case, featuring her in the graphic just didn't make sense. Fans were quick to point that out, saying things like, "Why is Wilson in the graphic? She had zero to do with this statistic." Ouch. This isn't just about a graphic, though. It's about giving credit where it's due. Caitlin Clark has been changing the game since she stepped on the court. She's not just bringing in new fans, she's revitalizing the entire league. Those attendance records we talked about earlier? That's the Caitlin Clark effect in action. But here's where it gets really interesting. This whole controversy is shining a light on a bigger issue in women's sports. It's about media representation and recognizing new talent. Clark is the fresh face that's breathing new life into the WNBA, but some parts of the media seem slow to catch on. You know what's crazy? This graphic mishap might actually end up helping Clark in the long run. All this outrage is just bringing more attention to what she's accomplished. Sometimes, a little controversy can be a good thing, especially when it gets people talking about the real issues. While everyone was busy arguing about graphics, a legend was watching closely. LeBron James just dropped a bombshell about Caitlin Clark that's got everyone talking. What did he say that's making waves across both the NBA and WNBA? LeBron James isn't just talking about Caitlin Clark, he's standing up for her. And it's not just any support. He's been in her corner since day one. That's huge coming from one of the greatest players in NBA history. But why is LeBron getting involved in WNBA drama? Here's the thing, LeBron gets it. He knows exactly what Clark is going through. Remember when he entered the NBA? He was just 18 and suddenly all eyes were on him. LeBron said, "There was a time, all the spotlight was on LeBron." Sound familiar? It's like he's looking at his younger self when he sees Clark. But LeBron's support isn't just about memories. It's about changing the game. Think about it. How often do you see NBA superstars stepping up for WNBA rookies? This is new territory, and LeBron's leading the charge. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this risky for LeBron? You're right. He knows he might face backlash. LeBron even said, "This will not make the woke overlords happy." That's pretty bold. He's not just supporting Clark, he's challenging the whole system. Let's talk about what this means for Clark. Imagine you're a rookie, facing criticism from all sides. Then, out of nowhere, LeBron James, yes, that LeBron James says he's got your back. How would you feel? It's like getting a shield made of pure gold. But it's not just about Clark. LeBron's move is shaking up the whole sports world. He's showing that the gap between the NBA and WNBA isn't as wide as some people think. He's saying, hey, talent is talent no matter the league. This is where things get really interesting. LeBron's support could change how people see the WNBA. If more NBA stars follow his lead, we might see a whole new level of respect for women's basketball. Imagine the impact on young girls watching this unfold. Suddenly, their dreams seem a lot more possible. You know what's crazy? This all started with a rookie making waves and some controversial graphics. Now we've got one of the biggest names in sports stepping up. It's like watching dominoes fall, but each one is bigger than the last. All right, let's wrap this up. LeBron's got Clark's back, fans are showing up in record numbers, and ESPN's graphic mess-up has everyone talking. It's clear Caitlin Clark is changing the game, but some people still aren't getting it. So what can we do about it? How do we make sure players like Clark get the love they deserve? It's on us, the fans, to keep this momentum going. We need to keep showing up, keep talking about these amazing players, and keep calling out unfair coverage when we see it. This isn't just about Clark or the WNBA. It's about making sure all athletes get their due. So next time you see a rising star getting overlooked, speak up, share their highlights, buy their jerseys, get loud at games. Let's show the world that women's sports are here to stay, and they're only getting bigger and better.